Food waste is a symptom of a food system that isn't circular.
We said, could we create a new source of food that was sustainable and that was nutritious?
We don't want to just stop with brewer spent grain. We really want to be an example of the bioeconomy in action here in Tullamore.
Food waste is actually a global issue. About 25% of all food produced is wasted globally, and it's also a climate issue. It's responsible for about 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gases, and in fact the waste of all the resources that are gone in to producing the food as well.
Biocircularity is trying to ensure that all of the, perhaps what is perceived as waste from the processing, is actually broken down to make fantastic ingredients. And those ingredients then can be utilised in a range of different opportunities.
BiaSol was a lockdown project between myself and my brother, and with my background in food science and health, we wanted to use those skills and come up with a business idea. So sustainability is something I'm quite passionate about. We wanted to create a healthy food product in a sustainable way, so that led to us working with brewer spent grain, as it's the largest byproduct of the brewing industry.
So malted barley that's been discarded for brewing, there's about 172,000 tonnes produced on the island every year, and most of this is just given into animal feed or in some cases wasted. Our idea was actually to bring this byproduct back to its highest value, which is feeding ourselves.
When I took over the farm here, malting barley was always the main crop, so I think it's gone back, it's probably 4 generations worth of my family have been growing malting barley. And then when we decided to diversify the farm, I suppose the obvious option for us was to use our own product, so that's why we decided we'd open up the brewery here. What you have in barley, you've lots of flavour, but you've also got starch in there, and you have natural enzymes in the barley as well. What we want to do is to use those enzymes to convert that starch into sugar, because when we put it into the fermenter, the yeast is going to eat that sugar and generate alcohol from it. So when we drain that liquid out and bring it through to the next part of the process, we're left with the spent grain. What we do on this farm is we actually store that over the course of the year and we recycle it back onto our barley grounds. But what we're also doing now is sending some of that spent grain to a company called BiaSol, and they are able to upcycle that material into a flour substitute, which they're then able to use in brown bread mixes, in scone mixes.
We come in and take the leftovers, which is the outer husks of the barley, and that contains all the fibre, the protein, B vitamins, minerals, and it still has all that flavour in it as well. So it's the perfect functional ingredient, you know, to make tastier, healthier foods.
At the start of this year, we moved into a 9,000 square foot unit, and we started with a team of 2, which was myself and my brother, and now we have a great team of 10 altogether.
What we're trying to do, which is the bioeconomy in action, is, for example, spent grain that might have been used for, fertilizer, putting it on the land, is now being incorporated into human food, and that's exactly feeding people is the next option after preventing food waste in the first place.
So research and the facilities here in Teagasc and in other areas are absolutely critical, and we really want industry to be backing this and seeing the end potential.
We're now stocked in Tesco and Aldi and Holland and Barrett, and then in lots of local artisan grocers and independent health food stores as well across the country.
Into the future now, we're expanding our capacity here, so we're making readily available more of these functional ingredients. And we want other brands and manufacturers to join us on this bioeconomy journey. That's our plan.